Hey everyone, this is Suikun, and today I want to talk about a game that recently came out called Creatures of Ava. And should you play Creatures of Ava? I mean, I personally think so, just because I really like this type of game. It is, try to summarize this game, it is a non-violent, the creatures will attack you, but you do not attack them back. And it's a puzzle game, and I think it's got a really nice story and enjoyable characters. The writing is really good, I think. I laughed several times playing this game. I think the game looks beautiful. And it's a semi-monster taming game. Like, you don't really actually tame the monsters for yourself. You use them to help you solve the puzzles and rescue other creatures. And I really like that aspect of the game. Like, if Pokemon made... and speaking of that, it's also got like a bit of Pokemon Snap in there where you can take pictures of the animals. Because you're kind of like a researcher. And you're taking pictures of diseased animals and the like healthy ones. And you're just collecting data, things like that. And so... I just love Pokemon Snap, so I just really like any game that lets me take pictures of animals and stuff. So for me, this was a, basically 9.5 out of 10. So why a 9.5 out of 10 and not just 10 out of 10? There is programming oversight that frustrated a lot of people, where, because like to solve some of the puzzles, which we'll see in a minute, you kind of have an animal help you with clearing out obstacles and things like that. And part of your research is to have each animal, like, take out a certain obstacle. Whether it's break through bushes or knock down a bridge or break through a, cracked wall or something like that. And so there's a certain number of those you're supposed to do with each animal. And the grasslands seem to have the most problems, where it is possible for you to not be able to complete your Avapedia, and because you use, like, say, the wrong creature for the wrong obstacle. And so you can essentially lock yourself out of completing what would be essentially your Pokedex. It's kind of like the Legends Arceus, where you had it, like, capture so many Pokemon and things like that. Oh, and you can pet the animals too. I love you get to pet every single one of them. But yeah, it's kind of like Legends Arceus, where you had to like collect a certain number of Pokemon and do a certain number of things with them to actually complete your Pokedex. It's basically the same thing with this one, where you have to take pictures, you have to pet them, you have to save a certain number of them, you have to have them do their specialty, X number of times. And like the first time I tried playing this game, I wound up locking myself out of being able to save certain creatures in the grassland, because I rescued the creatures too soon before I realized I hadn't broken all the barriers. And so I had rescued, I think it was like all the horses. I really like this horse design, by the way. I rescued all the horses, and there were animals that were locked out inside a like bush barrier, and so I had no animals that could save those. I had no animals to use to save those animals. So I basically locked myself out of 100% completion. And normally I don't care about 100% completion. I am not a completionist at all. But this game is small enough and enjoyable enough and simple enough where I just kind of want to 100% complete this game. So I was working on that when I was able to 100% at least the Avapedia for the grasslands after I restarted my game. And but then as I kept going on, I kept just getting stuck in like the jungle area, not being able to find everything. So I was like, I want to at least, play the story and see what happens. And then I can always just play it again and 100% complete it that way. So that's kind of what I was doing. And so, yeah. Like I said, you're basically a researcher. You're trying to save animals as this planet is infected with these flowers that are, like, killing animals and things. So you're trying to save the planet from that. But yeah, I mean, if that sounds like a game you would enjoy, then I would recommend, Creatures of Ava. Like I said, it's a non-violent game. The creatures will attack you. They don't always. I mean, just like in real life, some animals are just going to run away from you, and some are going to attack you. But I mean, you can just play your flute, and then if you play your flute correctly, and the game's very, very forgiving on playing the flute, and you can basically fail as many times as you want. The creatures are not going to attack you just because you failed the flute. So, I mean, it's a very, very forgiving game. I'm also playing it on story mode, because I wanted to just be able to enjoy the game and enjoy the story and not have to worry about challenges and all that. But yeah, I mean, if Pokemon made a game like this, where it was like a non-violent game, where this, like I said, is kind of like a mix of Pokemon Snap and Legends Arceus, except, non-violent. And you're trying to rescue the animals and not try to, kill them constantly. I mean, if Pokemon made a game like this, I would say take all my money. But yeah, Pokemon will probably never make a game like this. But I wish there were more games like this because I really enjoy it. I like the creature designs. Like I said, I really enjoy that horse design. Even this little Kraj thing, I think it's a nice little design. And you get to pet it and everything. So here's me using the Kraj to knock down a little bridge. Like I said, this is that specialty I was talking about. So you have to do this a certain number of times to complete your Pokedex. So my recommendation when playing this game is take your time on it, especially if you actually do want to 100% complete it. Keep a very close eye on your Pokedex completions. And once you've, say, completed all of the knocking down bridges or whatever with the Kraj, do not use Kraj skills at all until you've got, the bird one. The bird one was the one I think that most people had trouble with, because you don't have as many opportunities with the bird as you do with the Kraj. Because Kraj are basically everywhere. They're almost like the Pidgeys of the Ava world. So they're basically everywhere. And so, but yeah, I mean, like I said, I really enjoy this game, and I'm just gonna kind of leave it to where you can kind of see a little bit of gameplay. This is the beginner quest where you're expected to test the capture capability, especially if you've worked in corporate and stuff. You'll probably enjoy the commentary about, oh, we've got cheap ass products, and this, how this stuff is, they don't work half the time, that kind of thing. And there's the Pokemon Snap part of it, where you're, like I said, expected to take pictures of the animals, and I really like taking pictures of the animals. So, I've always enjoyed games that let you take pictures. So, but yeah, so this is me using my magical staff thing to cure the little dinosaurs of the infection that they have. And then, once I've cured all of them in the area, then I'm gonna bring them to the little teleporter thing. And then that will teleport them up to the little BioArc ship that we got in space somewhere. And, so we can save them from this infected planet and save them from dying. So, but yeah, so I'll just, like I said, I'll leave it off here just so you to kind of enjoy the gameplay a little bit. But yeah, like I said, would I recommend it? Yep, if you would enjoy this kind of game, then I would definitely recommend it. But this is definitely not going to be a game for everyone, I mean, there are some people who are just upset that you can't fight the creatures and things like that. If not being able to fight the creatures bothers you, then you're probably not going to like this game. That kind of stuff. But for me, this game, if it wasn't just for that oversight when it came to filling out the Pokedex, then this, for me, would have been a 10 out of 10. If I had any actual skills in game design, this would be the kind of games I would make. So, alright, well, hope you enjoy it. See you later.
chance, come see me.